There's something you probably don't admit out loud, but you feel it every day. You want more out of life, more money, more freedom, more success, more meaning. But at the same time, you can't seem to push yourself the way everyone else seems to. You scroll, you procrastinate, you plan big and then stall on the small. You're ambitious, but you're lazy. And for years, you've believed that those two things cancel each other out. But what if they don't? What if that exact contradiction, lazy and ambitious, is not your curse, but your key? See, most people misunderstand laziness. They think it's the opposite of ambition. They think if you don't wake up at 5 a.m., run 10 miles, and drink black coffee while journaling about your grind set, then you're doomed to mediocrity. But here's the truth. The universe doesn't reward the busiest. It rewards the most aligned. It doesn't care how many hours you spend forcing. It cares about whether you're moving in flow. And if you're the kind of person who dreams big but struggles with discipline, you may actually be wired for something different than endless hustle. You may be built for leverage, for shortcuts that aren't cheating, but strategy, for finding the straight line to what everyone else is zigzagging around. Think about it. Every major breakthrough in history came from someone who was too lazy to do things the long, hard way. And why invent the wheel? Because dragging things sucks. Why create electricity? Because lighting candles every night is exhausting. Why build the internet? Because mailing letters takes forever. Laziness, when paired with ambition, creates innovation. It forces you to ask, what's the simplest way to get the biggest result? That's not weakness. That's genius. But here's where most ambitious, lazy people get trapped. Instead of leveraging their nature, they shame themselves for it. You wake up and think, I should be doing more. You watch other people posting about their 16-hour grind days and you think, something's wrong with me. That shame doesn't motivate you. It paralyzes you. It makes you double lazy. So here's the reframe. The universe didn't design you wrong. You're not broken. You just need to learn how to work with your wiring instead of against it. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine you've got two paths to success. Path A, wake up early, burn yourself out, hustle harder than everyone else, push through resistance every single day until maybe, just maybe, you reach your goals before you collapse. Path B, figure out the 20% of actions that create 80% of the results. Automate, outsource. Focus only on what matters and ruthlessly ignore the rest. Which path do you think is built for someone who calls themselves lazy but ambitious? Exactly. Path B. And here's the kicker. Path B usually wins faster anyway. Because while grinders are busy flexing their work ethic, you're busy removing friction. They're working harder. You're working smarter. Now let's get practical. Because I know what you're thinking. Okay, that sounds nice, but how do I actually use this? How do I stop procrastinating and actually build the life I want? Step 1, stop trying to fix your laziness. You don't need to become a productivity robot. You need to channel your ambition through your natural shortcuts. For example, if you hate long tasks, break everything into micro steps. Don't write a book. Write one messy paragraph. Don't build a business. Sell one thing once. You'll trick yourself into momentum, and momentum is addictive. Step 2, design your environment so it does the work for you. If you know you procrastinate, set traps for your future self. Put your phone in another room. Automate your savings so money grows without discipline. Surround yourself with people who are already doing the thing you want to do. Their energy will pull you forward without effort. Lazy people succeed when the environment carries them instead of willpower. Step 3. Embrace leverage. Tools, technology, connections. Use them. Be efficient. Outsource the boring parts. Lazy ambition thrives when you don't waste energy on what doesn't matter. And step 4. Play the long game of consistency. You don't need to work 12 hours today. You need to do something small every day that compounds. One YouTube video a week, one blog post, one sale. That's how mountains get moved, not by force, but by persistence. Now let's talk about the deeper side of this, because this isn't just about productivity. It's about identity. If you've spent years calling yourself lazy, you've probably built an identity of guilt. You feel behind. You feel unworthy. You feel like you're failing at life because you can't match other people's grind. But the truth? Other people's grind isn't the point. The point is whether you're aligned with your own unique flow. And maybe your flow looks like bursts of intense work followed by long stretches of rest. Maybe your flow looks like inspiration hitting at midnight while everyone else is asleep. Maybe your flow looks like building systems so things run without you. That's not wrong. That's your edge. The universe doesn't want you to grind yourself into dust. The universe wants you awake enough to notice the opportunities lining up in front of you. And if you're too busy forcing, you'll miss them. Think about it like this. Imagine you're fishing. You can thrash around in the water, scare all the fish away, exhaust yourself, and end up with nothing. Or you can sit still, cast the line strategically, and let patience do the heavy lifting. Which one catches more fish? The patient one. The one who knows when to act and when to wait. That's how the universe works. So maybe you're not lazy. Maybe you're just not meant to exhaust yourself on things that don't matter. Maybe your real job is to figure out what matters most and then design a life where even your lazy nature gets you there. Now let me ask you, how would your life change if you stopped seeing laziness as your weakness and started seeing it as your filter? If you stopped asking, how do I force myself to work harder, and started asking, what's the simplest, most effortless way I can reach this goal? That question will change everything, because here's the secret. Ambition is the fire. Laziness is the container. Together they make efficiency. Together they make innovation. Together they make your path. And when you finally accept that, something incredible happens. You stop wasting energy trying to become someone you're not, and you start building from who you are. You stop punishing yourself for not fitting the mold, and you start creating your own blueprint. And the universe loves people who trust their own wiring. That's when doors open. That's when shortcuts appear. That's when the life you've been craving finds you faster than you imagined. So if you're lazy but ambitious, you're not doomed. You're chosen. You're the one who's willing to ask, what if there's a smarter way? And that question is the root of every breakthrough humanity has ever had. Here's your invitation. Stop apologizing for your nature. Stop shaming yourself for procrastination. Start using your ambition as the guide and your laziness as the filter. Together, they'll carry you where grind never could. And if you're ready to stop fighting yourself and start working with yourself, I want you to declare it. Drop a comment right now that simply says, I'm ready to work smarter. No story, no excuses, just those 4 words. Because sometimes the most powerful shift begins with a public vow. And if you know someone who's been stuck in guilt for being lazy but secretly dreams of more, share this video with them. They need to hear this just as much as you did. Remember this: you're not broken. You're built differently. And if you lean into it, the universe has a funny way of rewarding you for the very thing you thought disqualified you. Because in the end, it's not about working harder. It's about learning to flow with who you already are. And when you do, you'll see it. The universe giving you everything you wanted, not because you forced it, but because you finally aligned with it.